Welcome to another episode of Shipper War, my review of Like Crazy.
Shipper War. When ship happens, I'm there.
Even though I'm completely aware this movie is my cup of tea and I'm completely embracing that, I'm also a realist and I realize a movie like this is not for everyone. It's a very type of artsy-fartsy type movie, and the way it's filmed and all that, and just the way it is, it's very artsy-fartsy. So if you don't like artsy-fartsy emotional movies, then you'll probably not like this one. This movie is very, very emotional. It plays with your heart, and there's stuff in the movie, if you've ever been in a relationship, you can completely relate to, and that stuff is what's the stuff that makes you really, involved. At least for me, there were certain things that happened and certain things the characters would say that I can completely 100% relate to. The music, another thing. I love movies with good music, and this is one of those movies that the soundtrack for the movie was amazing. The other interesting thing about this movie that I recently learned about was that a lot of the lines in the film were improv by the actors. So the script wasn't a major thing in making this movie. The actors were the ones that made this movie because they're the ones who improv'd and added the lines and the small little things, gestures and stuff like that they did throughout the movie that made this movie seem so realistic. Like, the only other film that I can compare this film to is Blue Valentine. Like, it felt like you were spying on someone else's relationship. It almost seemed realistic, as though you were watching some hidden camera type thing, and that's how this movie was. Both of the actors did an amazing job. Everybody across the board did an amazing job in the acting. The only real complaint I have for this film is that the ending, the way it ended. After the movie, I just sat there and I was with a group of people and we were just like, what? That's how it ended? But then the person sitting next to me, who's actually a film critic, he actually leaned over to me and he started explaining the ending to me in a way that made sense more than what I was grasping. So that made me even enjoy the movie a lot more, because his explanation towards of what happened at the end made a lot more sense than what I was thinking was going to happen or did happen. So yeah, that was my only issue, was the ending, but everything else was just amazing. This was a great movie. This is another one of those great movies that hardly gets a release, hardly anybody ever gets to see, and it just freaking disappears, and then movies that are complete garbage end up being released worldwide. For reasons I don't understand why this happens, and I just don't understand it. I guess the general movie audience doesn't want to see movies that actually make you feel and think things. But yeah, Like Crazy, amazing movie. Do not recommend it for everybody because it's not for everybody. But if you like artsy-fartsy type movies, or movies about romance in a very realistic way, completely go out of your way to see this movie because it was freaking amazing. So that is all for this episode of Shipper War. Goodbye, and until next time.